So let's move on to the Carolina Panthers. We got Rob Hunt. Look, some offensive line action. We needed to bring up some offensive line talk here. I know you love to talk about the big uglies. Rob Hunt getting a 5-year, $100 million contract from the Carolina Panthers. That man is rich. His bank account, one of the big winners today. Sully, how do you feel about this move?
You talk about the big uglies. I think I'm looking at the elite wide receiver for Bryce Young, right? Rob Hunt has been a go-to wide receiver in Miami over the last few years. But no, I think that this is, again, an important move for Carolina. You look at that offensive line last year for Bryce Young, which was just, again, a tough year for him as the number 1 overall pick, not only not living up to expectations, but CJ Stroud at number 2 overall having the season that he did. It was just a bad year all around for Carolina. Sacked 62 times. You needed to solidify the offensive line to have any shot of Bryce Young living up to his potential. And this is a step in doing that. And so I'm encouraged that they're willing to throw $100 million at a problem that was so apparent last season. It just remains to be seen how well Bryce Young is going to be able to perform the next season.
Yeah, that includes $63 million in guaranteed money. I think the other thing that's good about Robert Hunt, especially if you're the Panthers, is that he's versatile. He's shown that he can play almost anywhere on the offensive line. And when you're a team like the Panthers, where you have holes everywhere, you kind of can just say, all right, well, we have this kind of Swiss Army knife who, if we need him at right tackle, he can do that. We need him at right guard, we'll put him over at right guard. So, yes, I like this signing. It is a lot of money for a guy who is primarily a guard, but look, you got to do whatever you can to help Bryce Young. You got to know if he's your quarterback in the future, and if you're going to help your quarterback, you got to protect him. So this I like for the Panthers. Let's talk about another offensive lineman, Jonah Jackson, heading to Los Angeles, signing with the Rams, 3 years, $52 million. The Rams spending big on the offensive line, Tyler. What do you think of this?
Yeah, I mean, this comes off the heels of them signing Kevin Dotson as well. So, they're making it a point to, similar to what we were just talking about with the Carolina Panthers, build a wall in front of Matthew Stafford, which it's a different type of discussion, but it still makes a ton of sense in the world. Stafford, not the healthiest guy. He plays through a lot of injuries, but he's dealt with some significant injuries throughout his career. He's going to be 36 years old next. This is his age 36 season coming up in 2024. One wrong hit, and that entire season goes awry. And they've been able to draft really well. The Rams have, obviously, with Puka Nacua last year. They still have Cooper Kupp. They have weapons for Matthew Stafford to really put up numbers and to compete in that division and to compete in the NFC. But if he doesn't have time, if he's injured, if he's hobbled, then you can just throw it all out. It's a wash for Sean McVay and all of them. So makes all the sense in the world that you have a 36-year-old quarterback and you want to invest in the offensive line. It's kind of the both ends of the spectrum. You do it when they're young. You do it when they're old. You should do it throughout their entire career. But those two periods, when you have those quarterbacks, are the time, to me, where you invest in that offensive line.
Yeah, and the other thing I love about this is that Jonah Jackson, he's coming from Detroit. So he's going from playing with Jared Goff to playing with Matthew Stafford. That should be a fun conversation for him in the locker room. Be like, yeah, guys, I ditched Goff. Sorry that we beat you in the playoffs. But yeah, I think the Rams were probably a little bit ahead of where they thought they were going to be in 2023, but the rookies just panned out so much. And now they realize, all right, we have a playoff team. We need to beef things up and become a Super Bowl contender. And these are the kind of moves that are going to get you there. And so, like you said, they did give Kevin Dotson a pretty healthy contract earlier this week. So that's he got 3 years, $48 million. Jackson got 3 years, $52 million. So that's $100 million for two offensive linemen, when we saw the Panthers pay $100 million for one offensive lineman.